In this video, we're going to take a very brief look, just an overview of a powerful tool that you have available in your IO Edition and your IO Interpreter, one that allows you to make modifications to any chart design that we have in the program or to create your own. As you know, we have more than 100 different chart layouts and chart designs within the program. You can access those from under Designs, but let's take a simple one and play around a little bit. We're just doing a here and now chart. Now, I'm able to move these because of one thing. If I go back up to Graphics, you see that Graphics Layout has a check mark next to it. That gives me access. Now, if you open up your program and it does not, click on it or hit Command G on your keyboard, and when you look at it again, you'll see that it has a check mark. Now, all the components on this chart design are available to me. This is true of any design, no matter how many different components are available. What that means is that I can do things with these. I can move them, I can size them by grabbing the corner, move it wherever I choose. I can delete it. If I want it back, hit Command Z, there it is again, resize it. Same thing is true with the chart wheel. You see a box forms around the element that I have selected with a black square at the bottom right hand corner, meaning that it is active. So I can size the chart, size it back up, move things around. Now that's just the beginning. We're going to go up to Graphics again, and we're going to select a powerful tool, Graphics Palette. The Graphics Palette, let's close this window, we don't need it open. The Graphics Palette lets you decide what you want to put on a chart page. Now, let's say I don't like the layout of this design. I'm going to go to Text, and Text lets me control things like the chart title, the prepared by, or I can put notes on the page if you've done notes in your selection of this chart. So let's do this. Let's eliminate this, and we're going to determine what we want as the chart title. Now the first thing you look at is what you want to select and what information you want in that. So anything clicked, chart type, local date, day of the week, local time, so on down the list. Now if you want one of those items in bold, you'd select darker as well. Okay. Now you want the program flush left, you want it centered, you want it right. Now that's not the position on the page, that's the alignment. Example, let's do a left. And if I grab this, click down and hold and drag it up to approximately where I would like it, you see that it's now flush left. I can expand it to the size that I want, contract it. Okay, the prepared by, same thing is true. If you've entered the address information or whatever information you want to use in those lines, you select what you want to appear. Here we're going to leave the address because I've used them for something other than the address, as you'll see when I put it on the page. So again, you select the items that you want, you select those that you'd like in bold, and nothing is in concrete yet, so you can play around and have fun with it. Let's eliminate the one we have there by clicking on it, hitting my delete key, go back over, select. Now I'm grabbing the icon just to the left of the name, I drag it down here, and I let go. Now I haven't entered my address, and I haven't entered, this is when I registered, so I only have custom info. So here we go. Alright, let's move to the next. Wheels. Say I wanted to replace this wheel with a different style. Let's go Gothic. I select Gothic. I want to display aspects. I've selected European style, Gothic. Standard custom styles, there we go, my mouth is working. Again, I grab the little icon here, drag it over onto the page, approximately where I want it, click on it, resize it, and there I have it. Now say I'm dissatisfied with this design, I don't want to do this, I can eliminate this and put a different one on, of course, but here's the nice thing, you can play all you want, and until you do this, click to close it, you're asked if you want to save your changes or not. In this case, we decide we don't want to. Don't save. I go back up to design, I select that same wheel, and you see it's back to what I started with. So you can play with this a lot. When you finally get it the way you want, you can tell it to save it. Now you can also tell it to save as. So for example, I like this design. I go up to File, I select Save As, I name it whatever I'd like. I could have Aspect and Houses Joe's or whatever. I decide I want to put it in my favorites. I click on the favorites, and let's change this so you can see what I'm talking about. Let's put 4 next to it to identify it. I save the design. Now under my favorites, you see I have Aspects and Houses 4. So whatever design I want, I can put it there. By doing a Save As, I still have the original design, but I have this new design as well. Tables. Let's say I want to put a table on this. So I go back. Let's make some room for it. Now I'll show you how you can modify pages and create your own designs as well. So hang on for a minute. Alright, so we're back on the graphics palette. We select tables. I want an aspectarian. I want to put it upper left. Let's say, well, let's see what that looks like. Is that right? That's okay. Now upper left, let's see what that looks like. You see the difference. It's where the information is and how it's laid out. So you decide how you want to read this. I don't want either of those there. Just giving you an example. Move the chart wheel up. If I would like to put numbers on the page, click Numbers, and here we go. There's the chart data, longitude, latitude, declination, RA, and I can position these things wherever I want until I'm happy with the design layout. Let's add something else. Signs and houses. Signs, houses, let's do signs. Let's put it right under the name. Planets by sign. Now let's do houses. Let's put it right under that. Now something I can do too, I can decide I want frames around any one of these objects. So let's click Has Frame. I want the title darker, of course. And you see I have one that's framed. So you can play with the designs until you get what you want. And again, I can delete it if I don't like it. I can delete that. And if I don't like anything that I've done so far, I can either hit Command Z and add things or take them away, reposition them by where they were last, or click the button to close it, say don't save, and we're back. And Aspects and Houses is just like it was at the beginning. So house cusps, personal points, you can play with these things. Now midpoints. If I wanted to put midpoints on this page, I can make some space for it here. And let's put the chart wheel over here and make it a little bit bigger. And let's shrink this guy down. And then we'll grab a tree. Put it on the page approximately where I want it. Upsize it where I want it. And there you have it. A grid. Angles, asteroids, orb, arc. Select what you want on it. And there you go again. It's that easy. Play around with the designs. Have fun with this until you get the design you want. Say you wanted to create your own design. Now let's close this one. Don't save, so we retain the design the way it was. Back up under Graphics, New Design. I'm going to call this Joe's Own. You can obviously call it whatever you'd like. I'm going to save this to my favorites. That's the most logical place if I'm creating my own design where I could access it easily from that list. Save. Now I have a blank page. I can do whatever I want with this page. The first thing I want to do is maybe size it or shape it differently. So I go to File, Page Setup, and here it allows me to determine how I want the page oriented. I'm going to go to Landscape, click OK, and there I have the landscape. And let's go back up to Graphics, hit New Design again. And Joe's 2. And again, I'm going to save it to favorites, so that's what I've selected. Save. And then you can put whatever you want on these pages. You can change these pages considerably. Back to page setup. Page attributes. US letter. I can go select what size I want, tabloid, tabloid oversize, or I can go to custom sizes. Now, if you go to custom sizes, one thing you want to remember to do is if you intend to print this design at any point, you want to size it so that it's basically the same dimensions, the larger or smaller, that you have here, so that when you print it, you don't have to mess around with the print to fit page, that kind of thing. But here, let's just select tabloid oversize and tell it OK. And now we have a nice big one. So let's close this one. We're not going to work with it right now. I could always bring it up and work with it later. Alright, so we have a page. Let's begin. Let's go back to text. We want the chart title. Let's add universal date and time and city state and so on. We have what we want. Left, center, or right. Let's do left. Give ourselves some room. So I click and hold right next to where it says chart title. Let go. Position it where I want. Now that's too much information. So let's do this. Let's take off the city or universal time, universal date, and longitude and latitude. Let's get rid of this one. Click on it. Hit your delete key. So let's move the new one up there. I grab the icon. Let go. Size it. That's good for now. And then I'm going to select a wheel. Let's select traditional. And let's select American, standard custom styles, and we'll display the aspects. So I'm happy with that. Let's grab it, drop it on the page, upsize it. Now I'm viewing this in black and white. Let's select one of the other buttons. There we go. Now we have our color back. Alright, and I want a grid on this. So let's select, let me see. Let's do, now synastry is not going to work. What would we like? Let's go to tables. Let's do an aspectarian. We want to include asteroids? No. All aspects? Yes. Parallel aspects? Let's turn that off for now. And orbs, we'll turn that off for now. So I'm going to click, drag it over here. Let's get this out of the way. And position it, size it. Now, let's try this differently. So right, lower, or left, lower. Let's do left, lower. Let's get rid of this guy. So I click on him, delete. Let's go back to the aspectarian, and let's add parallel aspects. Now you see it's changed that completely. So you have your parallel aspects, position it. Okay, and let's see, let's add numbers. So click on numbers, bring it over here, position it. Now don't follow my designs here because I'm just showing you examples of how to do this. Play around with it, make it the way you want it, and then save it. You can always come back and you can always modify any design that you've created. So this is a very powerful tool that you can have fun with, creating your own designs or modifying an original design. We won't save this one. Let's go back up to select, let's just go A4, aspects and houses. Now say I want to add a grid to this. I'm going to size things so that I have some space here. And again, I could replace all these with flush left or whatever. I could put frame around it. And what are we doing here? Let's grab the aspectarian. We're back over here to the graphics palette. Grab the aspectarian. Nope, we don't want that one. Let's take a simpler one. Let's remove parallel aspects, grab it again, drop it on the page, grab the corner, pull out. Let's get this little guy out of the way, position it where I want it. Let's make that a little smaller. And there you go. So it's easy to modify, again, modify any design, create your own designs. I'll be doing more videos that will show you specifically how to work with each section. But this gives you an overview. Play with it, as you've seen. You can't do anything wrong. You're not locked into anything. Even if you save it, you can come back to it and fix the design. Do whatever you'd like with it. Enjoy it. Colors and so on, as you probably already know if you've looked at the other videos, the tabs up here are different colored backgrounds and different colored glyphs and chart wheels and everything else. Those are controlled through your preferences. That's under IO Edition title or IO Interpreter title, and select colors and play with the colors. Page, background, chart wheel, the text, the different glyphs. So you can choose the colors of the glyphs you want. What you need to make sure of is that the button that you've selected here is the same button that's selected here. That will change that for good. That button will always reflect whatever color changes you make. Different video. Okay, but that's a brief introduction to the graphics palette. Use it, have fun with it. Also explore the other designs that we have. There are many designs here. You may find one that totally suits you. If not, make the modifications that you want to it. That's it. I hope you enjoy and have some fun with this. It's another way you can personalize your Time Cycles software easily. Have fun with it. It's a wonderful program.